So, aren't you typically turning to homeopathy to cure an ailment? How do you determine when somebody's too sick to be more likely to respond to that versus, like you said, pediatric medicine for minor things like rashes or sneezing or
Yeah. So if somebody's majorly reactive, they're really reactive, and it's more of like a stress response reaction, they're probably going to be a better case for homeopathy. But if somebody's having major inflammatory responses, they're having asthmatic reactions, histamine, flushing, redness, they've got heat, inflammation, pain coming out with their reactions. They're just down and out and just totally bonked out. They're having major neuropsychiatric symptoms. Those cases may be too inflamed, but somebody who's having more of a stress response, a particular ailment that doesn't necessarily disrupt their total functioning, homeopathy is great for that in its traditional sense. And so this is where we also kind of talk about updating the practice of original homeopathy. Traditional homeopathy used one remedy and one dose, sometimes in one time of a dose, and not in combination. Okay, that's how they used it. Updated, a lot of times we'll use variations of homeopathy. We'll mix them together. We'll maybe use what's called anthroposophical medicine or remedies, which is when we're using different types of homeopathics together to get different effects. Okay, those can be a little better when they are used in somebody who's inflamed, and especially when we're trying to coach the body to do something very particularly. So if I'm trying to elicit and clear up one symptom with homeopathy, I want this to improve nausea. That's going to work out better if they're less inflamed. If I'm trying to give the body a complex coaching mechanism, I want to use homeopathy in conjunction with this herb to try to get the body to push this herb into a different place, right? To use it more in the nerves versus the gut or in the muscles versus somewhere else. It doesn't typically matter how inflamed they are because I'm actually asking the homeopathy to kind of work on the herb body interaction. That's an updated version of homeopathy. But in general, if somebody's just really far down the spectrum, their lab scores are all over the place. They've got all the classic signs of inflammation, rubor, dolor, right? Pain, redness, swelling. Those cases are a lot of times, not that they can't respond,